To another independence lesson, and here we're going to focus on developing some independence in a shuffle context. Throughout level 4 and 5, you worked with Tony Coleman on some blues and shuffle vocabulary, and here I wanted to expand on what you learned and help you develop some freedom behind the kit with your shuffles. Remember that shuffles are used in blues, jazz, rock, country, and other styles, so they're very important grooves to know and be able to work with this. Let's start with the first example. So in this example, you're going to see that my ride cymbal is playing a shuffle ride cymbal pattern, my snare is playing 2 and 4, and that my bass drum is echoing my ride cymbal pattern. So you're going to use this in a lot of blues contexts as well as jazz contexts. So this is really important to have. Let's hear that now with a click. 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Now let's hear that with the musical backdrop. So number 2, I'm going to be continuing with the blues shuffle where the ride cymbal is continuing to play the shuffle beat here. My bass drum is playing beat 1, the trip of 2, and then the let of 3. And my snare is just playing 2 and 4. It's going to sound like this. So fewer notes, but it gives the same impact. Let's hear that now with a metronome. 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And now let's hear that with a musical loop. Okay guys, so number 3, we're going to be continuing with the blues feel. This time though, the bass drum is going to be playing all quarter notes, which is going to be creating a double stop on 2 and 4 with the snare. For those of you that don't remember what a double stop is, a double stop just means 2 notes played at the same time, as opposed to a flam, which has a little bit of a delay. So double stop, that's what it sounds like. The hi-hat, though, is really cool because it's playing all offbeats, and in this context is going to give a really great pulsation to the blues groove. So that is going to sound like this. Let's go ahead and hear that with the metronome. And now let's hear that with a musical loop. the next two examples, we're going to be looking at more of a blues in a jazz context. One of the best examples I can think of is the great drummer Art Blakey in his playing on Moanin', where he's using this blues groove that we've been working on, but in a jazz context. So instead of this blues feel in the ride cymbal, I'm using the jazz ride cymbal pattern. What I want you to notice is that my snare drum is playing all downbeats and offbeats, but there's a slight accent on 2 and 4. This is going to help the blues feel have that forward momentum, but it's really appropriate in a jazz context. It's going to sound like this. Now let's hear that with a click. 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And now let's hear that with a musical loop. So number 5 is continuing with this jazz shuffle groove where my ride cymbal is playing the ride cymbal pattern and I'm playing this offbeat syncopated shuffle pattern in my snare drum that we just worked on. My bass drum is playing this really cool figure which is actually a half note triplet. So let me explain what that is. Eighth note triplets, 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. Quarter note triplets, for the reminder, it's every other eighth note triplet. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And then half note triplets are every other quarter note. So it's these 3 notes. 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet, 4 triplet, 1. And in this groove, the bass drum playing the half note triplet is going to sound really cool, and it's going to sound like this. Let's hear that with a metronome. 3 triplet, 4 triplet. And now let's hear that with the musical loop. So in these examples, make sure you can play all 5 at 120 BPM. And if you're looking for more material to practice, you can find some additional exercises right below this video. Remember, the idea with these independence lessons is to challenge you and show you some options. Experiment with each example by orchestrating them around the kit and try and come up with some of your own variations as well. Once you've completed your assignment, you can move on to the next section of level 6.